Hi everyone, Lisa Haven here. Well, how bad is it right now in the United States of America? And I'm speaking directly about our U.S. economy. You see, what the mainstream media is keeping from you right now is going to determine the fate and future of our country. And right now, I have to be honest, it's not looking good economically. Not only am I going to reveal to you that there are massive mandates and curfews and secondary lockdowns being implemented all across the country that are going to have dire and long-term impacts on our economy. But on top of it all, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell has dropped a bombshell that will leave you speechless. Now, before I get into it, I just want to give you a quick reminder. Please don't forget to check out RestrictedRepublic.com. This is a website that I started with Justice Knight and myself, and it's got uncensored, unrestricted content. You want the raw data, then you're going to want to check out RestrictedRepublic.com. And right now, we've got a 14-day free trial just to try it out. So check it out at RestrictedRepublic.com. All right, so let's get into what's going on with the economy. Take a look at this article here on CBSNews.com. Jobless claims hold steady with more than 1 million seeking aid. Now, that is critical. However, what's more important is what's contained in this article. And in the middle of the article, it says, as of mid-October, 21.5 million people, or about 1 in every 7 workers, are receiving some sort of jobless aid. And you can see the chart there of people receiving jobless assistance throughout all programs. But to give you a little comparison, in October of 2019, about a year ago, only 1.45 million people were receiving jobless aid. That should give you an idea of how bad we really are. 2019, 1.45 million people, and 2020, 21.5 million people. That number has multiplied by 10, 11, 12 times. This is a fairly big increase. But here's an even more, eerier part that you're going to want to pay attention to. Take a look at this. This is on CNBC.com. More than 13 million people could lose their unemployment benefits at the end of December. The article goes on. Aid to more than half of Americans receiving jobless benefits is set to expire in less than 2 months, and the share is likely to grow as the year-end deadline approaches. Roughly 3.6 million Americans have been out of work for more than 27 weeks, or 6 months. According to the October job report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, overall, roughly 1 in 3 people currently are out of work have been unemployed since the COVID pandemic upended the U.S. economy in the spring. Let's be frank. When you have long-term unemployment, that's a massive issue for our economy. And right now, we are in Great Depression levels. Like our 1930s Great Depression, we are hitting and at that point yet again here in the United States of America. And if there are more lockdown measures like the Biden campaign is talking about, can you imagine how many more people will be in the long term out of work? Again, this is unheard of. Not only that, but this, CNBC.com, unemployment is failing and long-term unemployment is ballooning. And here's some of the facts they name. The unemployment rate fell from 6.9 in October from 7.9 in September. That's good, right? It was the 6th consecutive month of improvement. However, like I said, around a third of the unemployment have been out of work for at least 6 months. The ratio has been rapidly increasing, and then long-term unemployment is a dangerous financial period for households. Let me be blunt here. The unemployment rates are a direct result of the COVID-19 mandates, the COVID-19 measures, and the COVID-19 lockdowns being implemented by our Orwellian, freedom-stealing dictators. You see, when you tell a business that they can only operate at 25%, or you have to keep 6%, or you can only have 50%, or you have to do takeout or fill in the blank, I mean, they're mandated to death. Our businesses are mandated to death. Of course, there's going to be loss. And we're talking again about a virus that has a 99.8% survival rate for a majority of people living on the planet. This isn't Ebola here that has broken out, but they're definitely acting like it. I don't believe it has a direct result to COVID at all. It's just a result of all the mandates and measures and the fear that they've been pumping over and over and over and over again about how bad COVID-19 is. It's highly blown out of proportion, and so many doctors have come out about that. But meanwhile, we're literally killing our economy. The future for the United States of America does not look good, and maybe we'll recover, but I'm not sure that that's the case. And I'm not the only one saying that. I'm going to show you in just a moment, but let me show you some of the lockdowns that are going down. Here's AlJazeera.com. U.S. states resume lockdowns as COVID hospitalizations skyrocket. ABC7 Chicago. New Chicago COVID-19 restrictions on bars and restaurants include indoor dining ban. Mayor Lightfoot pushes back against Governor Pritzker. NBC Boston. The high-risk Massachusetts communities are moving back to step 1 of phase 3. USA Today. Ramundo says Rhode Island is moving towards another lockdown. USA Today, with more than 1 million cases and 4.2% COVID positivity rate, California rolls back reopening plans. Okay. The WashingtonPost.com, New York's block-by-block lockdowns are curbing COVID-19, but residents are not pleased. Here's the thing. A lot of these states, New York, California, that have had these mandates in place for like ever, are of some of the worst numbers that we've seen for the coronavirus mandates. Well, places like North Dakota haven't had issues that have been basically open a majority of the time without mandates. Take a look at what's going on in Sweden, right? You want more information on that? Get on Restricted Republic. That's about all I can say. But imagine what these mandates are about to do to our economy. And if Biden is elected by the Electoral College come this December, it's looking possible, right? Then even his task force member is saying he wants a massive stringent lockdown for 4 to 6 weeks. Take a look at this article. New York Post, Biden COVID-19 advisor says the U.S. could manage pandemic with 4 to 6 week lockdown. And when he says lockdown, he specifically talked about unclassifying people as essential workers and doing a very, 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 very stringent lockdown. But the GOP and a lot of Republicans were not too happy about that statement. So he mysteriously walks it back recently. Take a look at this article here. MSN.com, Biden advisor walks back the earlier proposal, calling for a lockdown. Dr. Michaels said an advisor of the president-elect Joe Biden said on a phone interview late Thursday that he has not discussed with the incoming administration his earlier proposal to lock down the country for several weeks to try to curb the rising tide of the COVID cases. I've never discussed this with any of them, he told ABC. He also said he doesn't think there's a national consensus for it anyway. Nobody's going to support that idea. It's not going to be supported out of the administration, and it's not going to be supported in Congress, he said. In other words, it was his idea. And you know, Biden would never do that. Well, Biden's already said that if his keyword, right? His scientists advised it that he would do it. But he's going to walk it back and say, well, it wasn't Biden's idea, it was mine, right? And obviously it was his idea, not Biden's. But Biden definitely has his ear, right? Bottom line, this is going to change everything we know about the United States of America. In fact, I think that's exactly what they intend. Take a look at this article here on CNBC.com. Here are the things that scare Jerome Powell the most about the economy right now. And here's what he said specifically, quote, we're not going back to the same economy, Powell said. We're recovering, but to a different economy. And it will be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that it's going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers. The central bank leader said he was referring specifically to a relatively low-paid public-facing workers who are bearing the brunt, many of whom are women and minorities. Did you catch that? A different economy. What does he mean by a different economy totally based off of technology? You mean like a cashless society there, Mr. Powell? Or do you mean like a great reset, like is being pushed by the globalists at the UN and the New World Order and all of them? Is that what you mean? You see, because the plan is, obviously, We're flipping our economy inside out. That's what's happening here in the United States. Anyhow, I'd love to get your thoughts, comments, and concerns. Please don't forget to check out my partner at healthwithlisa.com. If you guys haven't tried BioTrust, and it's got 5 different collagens in it, I want to encourage you to just check it out. I mix it very easily in my coffee every single morning, and it's done wonders for my hair, my skin, and my nails. And it's just really helped me overall. So I want to encourage you, give it a try. Don't pass it by, because it has been one of the best collagen products, at least that I have ever used. So check it out at healthwithlisa.com. All right, thanks again for tuning in. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.